And still covering this important visit by the Hungarian Prime Minister to Egypt, and we have with us live from the cabinet premises Nile TV's reporter Linda Abdel Latif. Linda, good day to you, and good afternoon to you, dear. And following up on the visit, actually, we have just witnessed the press conference that was held by President Abdel al-Sisi and the Hungarian Prime Minister, stressing a number of very important points. We know that the Prime Minister has been there receiving the Hungarian Prime Minister upon arrival, and many important files are there on the table, political and economic files. More updates from you, Linda.
Well, truth agreed. Right now, I am at the Cabinet of Ministers headquarters, where the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban will be meeting after a while with Prime Minister Engineer Sharif Ismail.
They will be holding together a joint meeting that will be followed by an expanded meeting that will be attended by a number of officials from both countries. Now, a while ago, I was at Al-Ittihadiyya Palace, where President Abdel al-Sisi has met with the Hungarian Premier, and both sides actually discussed issues of mutual concern. Following the meeting between both sides, actually, President Abdel al-Sisi and the Hungarian Premier have actually witnessed the signature of 5 memoranda of understanding, and they include the fields of transportation, military, international cooperation, an agreement as well between the Egyptian Radio and Television Union and the Hungarian Television, as well as the airline services or the air services field, as well as the transportation field. So as I mentioned, 5 MOUs or agreements were signed between the Egyptian and the Hungarian side. Following that, President Abdel al-Sisi held a joint press conference with the Hungarian Premier. For his part, President Abdel al-Sisi has actually said that Hungary is actually looking forward in order to cooperate with Egypt on all levels. He said that both countries are looking forward to strengthening relations between both countries. He also added that they discussed together during the meeting issues of mutual concern and the developments in the Middle East and Europe. On top of the agenda, or on top of the discussions, was the Syrian crisis and the conditions in Libya, and both countries spoke about the efforts that are done by each of them in order to establish stability in Libya. Also, President Abdel al-Sisi has spoke about issues that they discussed together, and those actually tackled the issue of illegal migration. For his part, the Hungarian Premier also said that he very much appreciates, and Hungary very much appreciates, the efforts done by President Abdel al-Sisi in order to establish stability in Egypt. He said that the success of Egypt is in the interest of the European Union and Hungary as well. He said that his country is looking forward to increase the trade exchange between Egypt and Hungary, and he also said that they're looking forward as well to increase cooperation, and they will be increasing cooperation in the fields of agriculture as well as in the education, which actually there are strong already cooperation between both countries in the educational field. Now, as we all know, the Hungarian Premier arrived yesterday in Egypt, starting off his 3-day visit to the country, being accompanied by a number of ministers and actually around 70 or delegations representing 70 companies, Hungarian companies as well. Now, as we all know, President Abdel al-Sisi in June of 2015 has paid a visit to Hungary, and he also during his visit discussed also issues of mutual concern, and he earned or received an honorary PhD from a Hungarian university there. Now, also, as we all know, this visit by the Hungarian Premier actually comes following the visit of President Abdel al-Sisi last year, where they agreed to increase cooperation and strengthen the relations between both countries. As we all know, the political relations between both countries are very strong, and they date back to 1928 when the official diplomatic relations between both countries were established. Also in 1939, Egypt was the first Arab country where Hungary has established or has inaugurated a delegation or a diplomatic delegation. Now, also, the Hungarian excavation work started in Egypt back in 1907. So, as you can tell, and as I have mentioned, there's historical relations between Egypt and Hungary, and they date back to years ago and many years back. Now, also, the trade exchange between Egypt and Hungary has reached last year, or for the year 2015, was actually $300 million. And the number of Hungarian tourists visiting Egypt in the year 2015 has exceeded the 40,000. There's also strong cultural relations between both countries, and we've seen the interest of the Hungarian museums actually in terms of the pharaonic history that they exhibit, and also we've seen the favorable or the consideration of the pharaonic heritage in the curricula of the Hungarian education as well. There's also strong education relations between both countries, and both countries usually exchange mutual visits in terms of the university delegates and also the exchange programs between both countries. And just the final point on the education issue, the Hungarian premier has actually said during the press conference that currently there are 100 Egyptian students who are currently studying in Hungary.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Linda Abdel Latif, Nile TV's correspondent at the cabinet, wrapping up the main highlights that came in the press conference. And also, yes, we are working with this sense of partnership, as you've mentioned, Linda, with Hungary. And, this is what the Hungarian Prime Minister had also stressed, that 70 years of links, and President Sisi talked about taking relations into new heights. Definitely strong relations, and mentioned by Prime Minister Oben that no disagreements had ever scarred this sense of relations. So, yes, a win-win situation with Hungary. Thank you, Linda Abdel Latif, taking you more